This is London with MarketHedge. Let's pay attention to Bitcoin. We're up against a line of resistance. Shout out to all the VIP. Luke, my man, what's going on with you? Hope you're having fun in the back already where I'm posting charts. This is London, former hedge fund owner, private, non-SEC, not financial advice. Take a look at Bitcoin. This level of resistance, where are you going to find this chart? It's on the hourly time frame. Where are you going to get these automatic lines showing the line of resistance that we're currently at? Where is this? It's up at the top. Go to MarketHedge.pro. Indicators. Indicators, you're going to select MH, which is MarketHedge, and parallel channels. That parallel channel function is a godsend at times. Let's pay attention to this. In terms of that hourly, you're going to see a real clear line of resistance across the top. Level of support in blue. It's very nicely laid out. You guys are going to agree. Now, in terms of the details here, look at the 4 hourly real quickly. This 4 hourly is a very interesting chart along with the daily. Now the daily's it's gonna rock for the bears, I gotta say, for the bears, if they can hold it. By the way, whoever is trading Solana, I will congratulate you. That thing has just got so much volatility. I can't believe it. Every time I look at Solana, it's flying around the room. So congrats to anyone who's trading Solana. We focus on Bitcoin here. In terms of the level of support, double bottom on the daily. What just happened? Bears had a perfect confirmation on the daily on Bitcoin. Boom, bam. Two nice preceding levels of support confirming for now as resistance. Now this red line, the red line means that we're in touch on here on the daily with an important trend line. Pay attention to this red line. It's where we are currently that's trying to hold. You see the level of support here on the daily on the MarketHedge Pro. Guys, it's the parallel function. Looking at the level of support, this is a cross trend line. See the support function, see the support flip to resistance function, very nicely laid out. See the support function on up through support function, and we are right on that line. So it's a very well respected line. It almost makes you want to just take this line off the breakout of the M-top pattern formation and say, bulls, hold this right here, hold this. Now, with that in mind, let's dig a little bit into a different chart. I want to show you guys exactly what's going on. Now, this is going to be quite interesting. If I can rewind this, let me get over to this specific. Now, we're going to talk about a fan pattern formation. Why are the bulls and why are the bears at odds right now? What's really going on? I want to show you the specifics here while we've established this is on the 10-minute chart. I've got a specific auto draw function that I've just programmed with a multiplicity of features on the 10-minute. Looking at a level of resistance, level of support, you see this channel to the downside. Okay, that's the barrier. What do the bulls have going for them, and how are the bears trying to counter right now on the micro, on this 10 minutes? Not ultra micro, but pay attention. Now, we're going to go to the 15-minute, and we're going to pay attention to one thing. Let's pay attention to the fact that the bulls have carried out a real seasoned approach. Let me go to a new chart so you guys can see this real clearly. A real seasoned approach to a reversal, a fan pattern reversal. New York Institute of Finance. Let's go to that 15-minute from the hourly. Now, looking at a level of resistance. What happens to this level of resistance here on the 15-minute? Level of resistance on Bitcoin. Bulls, they traject up and over, they reconfirm the support. Then what do? Well, it's the next line of the fan reversal. Bam. What do? Well, after confirming preceding resistance as support, they break that next line of resistance. They go up and they push. This is not comfortable. The 30 minutes probably going to give you a better look at it, a cleaner look. I just don't like the 30-minute time frame. It's really tricky at times, especially on Bitcoin, but it's leading us there. So pay attention to the 30-minute. You guys know I always say 30-minute time frame, friend or foe. See, the 15-minute wasn't clean on that next level of resistance. On this level of resistance, flip to support. You see how if you were in a trade, it became uncomfortable due to this peak here. And I thought we collapsed through. So that 30-minute has been cleaner, right? Has been cleaner, but right after it gets you to rely on the 30-minute time frame, what happens? Well, we bust this again. We're down to support where everything's been perfectly clean on every single level of the band, and now, boom, of course, now we're going to have to yield to what, a higher time frame? Because now we're underneath. It looks like, and it is a fact, on the 30-minute, the buyers have failed to hold support. It's that resistance, and we call this the seat of the fan. It's that array matrix centralized left-hand pivot point that everything flows from in terms of the reversal. It's very, very institutionally respected. If you're not familiar with it, the guys on New York at the heavy desks, they are. New York Institute of Finance, where Wall Street goes to school. Now, let me take a look at the dynamics on an auto draw. I don't normally like auto draw. It's not one of my favorite features, but this one does a really good job, and it's a load of code. I'll say that, but I like the way that it functions a lot better than any auto draw. What it did is it pointed out to me that and the bears are currently, there's a few more lines in here. The bears are currently going through their own dynamic on a smaller, let's say increment here, wherein they've been confirming instead of the walk up that the bulls are trying to deploy, the bears right now on the micro are trying to push price. Okay, and that's what those blue lines give us, right? You see that specific level of resistance, level of support. So you see the channel formation here with resistance. Bears on resistance, bulls on support, bears on resistance, bulls on support. So yeah, we have a target here. We also have a target with this specific blue line. Again, that array matrix, the initiation of the reversal, this time for the bears, right? We're going to be looking at this specifically, and it's just a very appropriate technical dynamic that is in play between the bulls and the bears, and we're going to just look at this very quickly. The bulls trying to push price up, the bears trying to come in late. I'll tell you, late. And what are the dynamics? I'll tell you, the lower that this goes, typically, the more difficult it is for the bears to complete. So, now, how would this pattern play out? If it were textbook, I'll say if it were textbook, how would it play out? Well, we'd go back up to this level if it were textbook, and then we'd crash back down through here, and we'd get what? Would we get another confirmation? These are trades, right? Picking up below. Yeah, that next function. Now, as we start to get, remember this, as we start to get lower, it becomes more difficult to complete. Okay, I'll say, you guys who trade a lot, you'll say probably 7 out of 10 times. It becomes more difficult for the bears to continue to push down and down and down. It becomes bullish because there are more bulls involved at lower prices. Let's just put it like that. If you trade a lot and you work with fans, you know that dynamic. The same in the reverse is true. The same is true once we start to push, and this is in terms of an angle preference. If we push flat, if we start to push up on the specific fan reversal for the bulls, it can become more difficult for the bulls. Just keep an eye of caution on that dynamic. The bulls when they're maxed out to the upside, or the bears when they're maxed out to the downside. Now, with that said, there is one. I'm not going to say it's a glaring error. I'm not going to say it's a primary concern. Aside from what? Aside from the weekly on the MACD, which is still what? Still red. We haven't picked up, guys. We have not picked up. This level of support, it's a nice pickup. We'll agree. We like to go lower. We'd like that pivot on the specific weekly to play out. We'd love to hedge down in that 20 moving average. But let's really call this the way that we see it. Again, not a glaring error. It's not a run for cover. But the dynamic here, I'm going to ask you guys to look at your specific regression trend. Look at your regression trend. It's underneath your top left menu on TradingView. Your regression trend. If you click that regression trend, and if you drag it to the top, you're going to see what? Yeah, everybody's looking at it. Now, it's a bear flag with a real choppy flagpole to the downside, or an abbreviated flagpole to the downside. This is of concern. Just listen up. If you're disciplined enough to not go in super heavy, this is what I have found and seen amongst the traders. If you're disciplined enough to not go in super heavy at the breaches, okay, in terms of any specific action underneath a potential bear flag or a constructive channel, it can save the day, okay? It can save the week. Now, if you want to play hero, and why is that, guys? Because from the specific move, let's go up to where we can kind of clean up this move to the downside, but looking at this to the extent that even this move wanted to replay in terms of a move to the downside, even this specific move, it could be something that could, on leverage, which we trade on leverage. We trade with BTCC, #1 in the industry. You guys know that. I don't sell them short at all. They've been around. They're the longest standing crypto exchange. They've never been hacked, and we trade 500x on MarketHedge. You guys know that. The specific account that went from 10,000 to what? To 233,000 in the last, 7-8 days. We'll call it 10 days. With that said, it's high risk, high reward. It's what we like. Now, in terms of the details, this can be a no-go zone. Or you can do what? If you want to be a hero, scope it out. The thing that has me a little bit hesitant, okay, a little bit hesitant, I say be a hero. If you're a bull, get on in there, rock and roll it, okay? You better have backup heavy cash reserves. Okay, now, and one thing before I scare off any of the new traders, what do you see here? What do you see? When you look at this, what is this? Honestly, what is it? From a trading perspective, you call it an advanced trading perspective, a pro trading perspective, these are all trades. All of them. Every single time you have breached a level of support, I'm saying every single time, if you stacked orders at and below, just look at the recoveries that you have had here. This has been, while I'm saying that the breach of the, I don't want to scare people away with the breach of the potential bear flag, etc. Look how many trades you've got. Now, and I say what's there, let's back off and really take a look at this. Look at this. Every single level of support that was breached, what do we have? We have a recovery. All right, what do we have here? Well, we have a breach. What do we have? We have a recovery. All right, so that means it's trade number 1. Trade number 2. There we go, guys. Trade number 3. There we go. Trade number 4. You got it. Now, the question at hand is it has handed them out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We've had 5. Now, look, guys, 6. Who is not stacked below this? So I bring that up because if you've been trading Bitcoin or any correlated asset, it's been a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Perfect. This is perfect price action for what? For a return to the preceding level of support, at least, if not over, right? And that's where we're at right now. At least orders stacked below have reconfirmed. So when you see this etching that's going on, it's ideal. Every one of those is a trade, right? I want you to see that instead of a lot of times when we see price that's just doing this, we're turned off. It's not going anywhere. Man, it has gone everywhere in terms of trading. Everywhere. These are all trades. So start to adjust the way that you're looking. Preceding supports, right? Are they recovering? Are they recovering? Yes. All day long, Bitcoin has been trading like a champ. So what does that mean? Well, right now, and this is the funny part, because right now with that ascending channel, right? With the ascending channel, which could be a bear flag. What's a bear flag to a bunch of bulls, right? Now, this is the funny part. And this is, this is the crux that the market will put us in. And again, remember, this is London, former hedge fund owner, private, non-SEC, not financial advice. In terms of the details here, it's like, okay, so you've paid 6 times, literally every single drop since the top to the bottom. It's been automatic. Do we all agree? Automatic. You guys got it right. Now, this is I just call it a ball buster test, guys. This is it. It's going to be who's got the ability and the know-how and the willingness. It's just, it's going to gauge the whole market in this zone here. You paid all day long. You still need to make that cash. You still want to run in and be a bull. What a great measure for the market. Really? What a great measure for the market. Now, ideally, I'll tell you, big guys who are looking at these patterns are looking at what? First of all, the most primary consideration is going to be the following. It's going to be on the hourly, and this is thorough. If you want a quick and easy TA, you guys know you found the wrong shop. I'm going to look at this thing, dissect it. I'm going to understand the ins and outs, the ups, the downs, everything. And if you have the time to make money in the market, you've got time to really pay attention to what's going on in terms of TA of the market leader, Bitcoin. Bottom line, that's why we have VIP. Shout out to Luke in our back VIP room. Level of resistance, and we'll be building soon. We'll be streaming, etc. Get you guys in the back. Level of resistance across the top, primary consideration. We agree? Primary consideration. This, guys, along there with another primary on the daily consideration. So we have 2 levels of resistance. Preceding support, you got it on the daily chart, and we've got what? And we've got a specific level of resistance clearly identified. So let's just call that a duo, right? We've got 2 knock them out of the parks, 2 home runs appears for the bears thus far, a double resistance line. With that said, let's pay attention to one thing. Let me get on the map in this zone. This level up here, Okay, pay attention. If you guys deal with expanding volatility functions, it's what it's all about, guys. Why is it? I brought this up earlier this week. Level of support, resistance. This is volatility. Why? Because there's more of a move in every single line of the price action. We agree? So it's expanding, meaning there's more moves between, which means each move is potentially worth more money if you grab it. We agree? Yes, by definition, it's not an opinion. It is volatility. We're looking for volatility. I mentioned Solana, which has been hot, right? Now, looking at this equation, what is the target on this level of volatility? And this is where we're just kind of in the no-go zone. We're going to have to break it. We're going to have to break the no-go zone, but pay attention to this in terms of this top line resistance. And where are we at? Let's pay attention on the RSI. You've heard me, and it's perfectly scripted. I think you'll agree. You've heard me say that from the RSI and the 4-hourly, we have what? We have 3 things that can happen. We have 3. That's it, guys. Once we get into oversold, meaning the sellers have engaged, we can continue to sell, right? We can get into oversold, and we can continue to sell. That's number 1. We agree. Everybody agrees. What's the second thing that can happen? We can get into oversold like we did, and then we rebound halfway, and then sellers continue to sell, and we're back in negative turf. Ba-boom. That's the second thing that can happen. Now, what is the third thing that can happen? The third thing that can happen is we can go down, kiss the oversold turf, and boom, we're back up into overbought turf because the buyers saved the day. You got it. So this is the issue. If you've been paying attention to the 1, 2, 3 combo, right now your odds are from back here. Your odds are from this level. You've already beat the odds in terms of sellers did not continue to engage. We agree? Yes. So you're at a mid-level point. If you hold from this engagement, which I brought you guys, that level of oversold on the 4-hourly, if you hold from there, you need to understand you're dealing with a paradigm here. And you could say, well, we're going to split it now. It could go up, it could go down. Well, I hate to do that. I want you to think in thirds. Think in terms of thirds on your trades to make sure you're not overexposed, okay? To make sure you're not, when you start talking 50, 60, 70%, 80, 90%, there are some trades. You guys know that. But just look at the dynamics here, and the bottom line is what? What's the bottom line? Pay attention. That this zone here is what? It's a good day. It's a good week. For who? For you if you were long from the bottom, right? You already got a break. Sellers didn't continue to sell. You're back up at the mid-level. You've made some cash. I always say it's not about whether you're going to make cash, just a matter of how much. If you want to push and you want that nice swing trade all the way to overbought and the bulls have to engage, understand you're throwing the cash on the table. Hit me, right? You are. I'm telling you guys, in terms of the dealer's about to hit you. Okay, so if you're in the money, this applies to the macro, it applies to the micro, you guys know that. So if you're there at the table and your screen is green and you want to push, I'm telling you guys, push, right? If you can't afford it, or you're sweating, or you can't sleep, that is not how we play this game. FYI, it is not how we play this game. Meaning trading. If it is owning you, we don't roll like that, okay? Best line here, descending on the 3-minute. We agree? It's a nice line. What have you got to beat? Let's draw this. We've got a lot of downside. Orders are stacked right now to the downside. I just tell you, if you can beat this line of resistance here, this is the current focal. I'm just going to be real laser about this. This is the current level of resistance target on the 3-minute. Any descending line across the top is a target if we have what? If we have a volatility expansion, meaning a descending line of support, descending line of resistance, and it's expanding volatility. So this is a nice go zone. This is a current target. If you're trading, congratulations. What do you see on the 3-minute? Talk to me. What do you see? What is this? It's a bullish pattern. Why? Well, it's a broadening wedge. Where? At the bottom. Okay. It's match at the bottom. It's leading to the downside. So these are typically bullish. What are typically bearish? What do we run into today? Pay attention. What do we run into today? I tell you guys, we don't like these. You guys know this. We don't like these. Bulls don't hunt these down. What do we run into on the top? Pay attention. Yep. a broadening top. You got it. Once we had settled in, once we had marked and rebounded up, what did we have? Yep, we had a broadening top. These are difficult to muscle up through for the bulls. I'm telling you, difficult. What is it, guys? I don't want to say 1 in 10, 2 in 10. It's tough. It's tough. When you muscle up through it, you got a hot market. You got a hot market. So that's a broadening top, right? Now, in terms of Luna, crazy, volatility, crazy demand. Remember Luna when it was hot and real, if it ever was. But that one would just blow through these, right? But something was kind of wrong, Typically, traders are very wary of those on the bullish side. So a broadening top, typically bearish, broadening bottom, typically, and if you've been trading quite a bit and noticing these, a few of these have paid off well in the last, let's say, 3, 4, 5 days. So if you've been trading these, you already know it. You're like, yeah, got it, London. No problem. These have paid off well thus far. So I just want you to understand the dynamics in play, right? Understand in terms of those who caught the 4 hourly on the downside and you're in the money, and you have to make the decision, will I roll the dice or not? Dig in, lower time frames, trade the sucker. Let's get going. This is London with MarketHedge Pro. Appreciate the opportunity to bring you guys this TA update, and I want to hear about your trades. We'll have you in the back soon, and we will have a full scope, and you guys know if bulls can't get that 112,500 up and over, we're bullish over, bearish under 112,500. You got it. That's the line in the sand. 112,500. Right? That's on the, let's just call that on the daily. Call it on the daily. That's that level of support. So we're bullish over, bearish under. Now, in the back, we've got all types of action in terms of room for VIP. We're excited about what we're building. Just wait. Give it 2 weeks and just wait. I don't want to keep leading you guys on, but it's really formulating nicely with some next level features. Next level doesn't even begin to describe it. I'm so excited. Pay attention to your charts, rewind, take a look, back test, say, where do I see trades? Spend time with the price action. Not just what pattern is it, but is it paying? Preceding support. Did this recover to the preceding support? You betcha. Boom. Any preceding support, any pivot. Is it trading? Rewarding buyers under? Is it, guys, rewarding sellers over? It has been. Do that analysis. Appreciate the opportunity to spend some time with you tonight. This is London with MarketHedge Pro. Let's get going the rest of this week. We got to close it out, and we expect a little bit of slower volatility this weekend, but I don't know, guys. Some of these things are hot. Again, I'll bring up Solana. Congrats to anyone who is trading that. Not a directive over there. We prefer Bitcoin. I'll talk to you guys soon. Take care. This is London. Bye-bye.